Tanks are rolling through the Serbian capital Belgrade in preparation for a military parade that is set for September 20th. Dubbed the Power of Unity, the parade is designed to present Serbia's military capabilities on the occasion of a recently established national holiday. According to Associated Press, the show will take place amid deep political divisions and the biggest wave of anti-government protests in years in the Balkan country. President Aleksandar Vucic said the parade has nothing to do with the persistent demonstrations that have shaken his tight grip on power. Vucic has repeatedly branded the student protesters as terrorists who are working in conjunction with Western powers to remove him from office, without presenting any evidence. On Friday, Vucic said that the parade was announced earlier this year and was not in any way related to daily events. This parade is an expression of our desire to celebrate a national holiday and an expression of our desire to show how much our army has progressed, said Vucic. Aleksandar Vucic, a military analyst, believes Vucic's government will use the parade as a show of force and to help boost public support. Vucic's intention actually is to show the army as a symbol of what binds people together in Serbia at the moment when there is a crisis of unity in Serbia, said Vucic. The protests first started as an anti-corruption movement after a concrete canopy at a renovated train station in Serbia's north collapsed in November, killing 16 people and sparking allegations of graft-fueled negligence in construction. Almost daily rallies in the past more than 10 months have become a direct challenge to Vucic's heavy-handed rule, with demonstrators demanding free elections, independent judiciary, and accountability for police violence.
Da ne bude kiša, da bude lepo vreme i da stoji blokaderi sklone sa ulica. Bolje da šetaju ovi nego oni budale.
Kako komentarišem ovo što zakrči saobraćaj to? Odlično. Odlično, nek zakrči sve da ne može nigde da se prođe. To je bilo najidealnije. A znaš, znači ova vojna parada, ne znam da li je ovo parada ili bruka.
Ona je, kao što znate, zakazana još s proleće. Više od 6 meseci ima kako ona zakazana. Nema veze ni sa kakvim dnevnim događajima, ni sa čim. Ta parada je izraz naše želje da obeležimo nacionalni praznik, ali izraz želje da pokažemo koliko je naša vojska napredovala. Da pokažemo građanima Srbije u što smo ulagali novac. Da ljudi mogu da na transparentan način vide koliko je danas Srbija snažnija u odnosu na ono što je predstavljala juče. Da pokažu ljudima u Srbiji da mogu da se osjećaju sigurno, bezbedno.
Luka Jovčić. Vojna parada je potrebna 20. septembra režimu Aleksandra Vučića za promociju sile, za potrebe unutrašnjeg javnog mijenja. Naime, mjesecima unazad u Srbiji su stalno u toku burni protesti, veliki dio javnosti učestvuje u tome, država odgovara vrlo represivno, a vojska je organizacija koja tradicionalno u Srbiji ima veliko povjerenje i mislim da je namjera zapravo predsjednika Aleksandra Vučića da pokaže vojsku kao simbol onoga što je u Srbiji zajedničko sad u trenutku kad je u Srbiji u krizi jedinstvo. I zato zvaničan naziv parade je snaga jedinstva. To je upravo pokušaj da se u dubokoj političkoj bezbjednostnoj krizi u Srbiji pokaže da postoji jedinstvo koje u stvari ne postoji.
The Ukrainian army stood up the 156th Infantry Brigade in the spring of 2024. Not long after, the unit converted into a mechanized brigade with additional armored vehicles. Now, the 156th Mechanized Brigade is one of the growing number of Ukrainian units rushing south to Donetsk Oblast to meet a mass of Russian troops and tanks poised to strike at the fortress city of Pokrovsk for what Ukrainian drone operator Kriegsforscher described as a last final battle, recalls Euromaidan press media outlet. Rather than give up on Pokrovsk, it doubled down and surged reinforcements around the city for what's shaping up to be a powerful tank-led offensive. Pokrovsk's fall would open the path to Ukraine's last major defensive positions in Donetsk, potentially forcing a strategic withdrawal that could reshape the entire eastern front. The coming clash will be bigger, bloodier than the infantry battles that were common around Pokrovsk earlier this year. Finnish analyst Joni Askola warned it will fall on newly arriving units such as the 156th Mechanized Brigade to hold off a much larger Russian force. The 156th Mechanized Brigade hit the road to Donetsk last month, according to Unit Observer. It joins the National Guard's 1st Azov Corps and adjacent units that rushed toward Pokrovsk in early August to block and then roll back that Russian infantry incursion that briefly threatened one of the two remaining main supply lines into Pokrovsk. Expect the 156th Mechanized Brigade to dig in and prepare for tank attacks. The older Ukrainian brigades around Pokrovsk are skilled tank killers, but the 156th Mechanized Brigade's relatively green troopers should be able to pick up the standard tactics fairly quickly. Euromaidan press says, in the 43 months since Russia widened its war on Ukraine, Ukrainian forces have destroyed, damaged, or captured around 4,100 Russian tanks. That's more tanks than Russian regiments had in frontline service before the wider war. They took out these tanks with mines, artillery, anti-tank missiles, and, perhaps most importantly, explosive first-person view drones and grenade-dropping bomber drones. The Russians are betting that tank-led assaults can help them with the battle for Pokrovsk. The Ukrainians are betting they can blow up the tanks in the usual way. If the Russians can't break through the reinforced Ukrainian defenses around Pokrovsk in the coming months, they might not get another chance anytime soon, at least not with tanks. Euromaidan press says, Russia's Uralvagon Zavod tank factory is building new T-90Ms, but it's unclear how many. The factory's output may have collapsed this year. Meanwhile, the Kremlin's vehicle storage bases, once brimming with Cold War leftovers, are now mostly empty of usable vehicles.